So if we do y divided by x and they all come out to be the same number, then we know we're over here in this category, which would be direct variation. But if we get the same number every single time for x times y, then we know we're in the inverse variation category. So let's see here. 1.5 over 3. What's 1.5 divided by 3? That would be 3 divided by 1.5. I'm talking 1.5 on top, 3 on the bottom. So if you took your 2 and flipped it over, what would you get? 0.5, right? So, and then if we do 3.5 divided by 7, we also get 0.5. And if we do 5.5 divided by 11, we also get 0.5. Notice how you got the same number every single time. Now if I go over to the other column and do the multiplication, 3 times 1.5 is 4.5. 7 times 3.5 is 24.5. So clearly these are not equal. So we would say that these are not inverse. Whereas over here, this is screaming at me, proves direct. So, what do you think the K value is? Any possible thought on a K value? Any number in the world? What do we think? 0.5. Excellent choice. Excellent choice. Well, I know, but I was hoping for a pretty obvious one in that column. Now, we have to write our equation. Well, we know it's supposed to look like this, y equals kx, and we know that the k value is 0.5, so put them together. And what do you got? Lickety-boppity-boo. Y equals 0.5x. Any questions on that? Question 2, we were told that x and y vary inversely. So immediately I know that's y equals k over x. Now, they gave me this information right here. Plug in the coordinate. And what's the reason we're doing that? To find x, or find k. 4 equals k divided by 1. Now it's not really difficult, but we are doing cross multiplication. And what do we know the k value is? Towns. Anything, Towns? What's the k value? We got to cross multiply this thing. 4. That's right. So now we know the equation y equals 4 over x. They already had the y equals part, so I just had to put the 4 over x. Well, thank you. I hope so. No, I really do. I mean, otherwise it would be painful. It would be like one of those moments of life. Okay, so let's go do the last part, and then we'll go back to the graph. It says find y. You have a new x value. How many of you think I would take 4 over 20 as an answer? You think so? Yeah. Do you think I would take 1 over 5 as an answer, since that's a reduced version of that? Yes. Now, do you think I would take 0.2, which is the decimal version of that? Oh my goodness, look at all those possible answers. And if you just wanted to write 4 over 20, because that makes you happy, go for it. Okay, now the graph. We know it can't be these two because they're straight lines. This is not a straight line, this is an inverse graph. So, those were ridiculous multiple choice options. We have been told that the point 1, 4 is on the graph. X equals 1 when Y equals 4. Now, each box is 2 units. Each box is 2 units according to the scale that I see there. So if I go to 1, right, that's really like 2. So I would want to go halfway in the middle, and then we would go up 2 and up 4, and that would land right about there. Clearly that dot right there is not on the graph. So I'll go over to the next one. Over half a block, up 2, 4. Oh my goodness, it is on the graph. Ding, 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 ding. On the graph. We have found our winner of the chicken dinner. I said of the chicken dinner. We found our winner of the chicken dinner. I don't know. That's a good AI question, you know? Where did that come from? I ask Alfred. I don't ask him. Yeah. Yeah, I pulled up ChatGPT last night, and it said something like, good to hear from you, Junior. I was like, it's weird. It's just have a little conversation. And how was your day? Yeah. Just remember, if AI takes over the planet, yes, I wanted to remember my fondly. So does it destroy me? Okay.
Or it'll destroy you and still remember you want.
Maybe. Oh well. Just taking my shot. You know, a lot of us don't realize that when we talk down to someone, an actual person, someday they might have more power than we do, and then they might control our lives. And they will remember who we are.
One day only you will work for me.
Well, and so here's the other obvious point that people don't realize. I'm going to get old. Someday I won't even be able to take care of myself, and I will be reliant on other people. So there's really coming a day where I could be getting somebody could be getting revenge on me.
So, okay, horrible, but don't be mean to your children, because they could find the nursing home with the most deaths by suffocation and let you in it.
As long as it goes quick. No. I thought you asked if I did see it. I was like, I don't remember it. Okay, sure. Go ahead. I'm okay with it. 9 equals K times 8. So that we could find the value of K. How are we going to find the value of K? By dividing by 8. So we end up getting this weird value, 9 over 8. Now we have the K value. They give me a new X value. And they want me to plug it in and find a new Y value. Not now, you're not. I need you to type this. Question 3. This is chapter 10. Find the chapter 10.
That's for the new ones. On your phone?
Well, you don't have to worry about it. Okay. That's right. That's right. What's 9 over 8 times 16? Well, how many times does 8 go into 16? 2 times. 2 times 9. Nobody knows 2 times 9. Thank you. That is the answer to our question. I know, I didn't either. But, appreciate the help. They tell me this is inverse variation on the next question, so that's y equals k over x. We were given an initial point of 10 equals k over 2.5. Now keep in mind that anything can be divided by 1, and now it's time to cross multiply. And what do we get for k? 10 times 2.5? 25, thank you very much. Sold. We have a new y value of 5. We've got a k value of 25. We do not know the x value. Once again, it's time to cross multiply. Yes. Yeah. 5x equals 25. What does 1x equal? 1x. 5. Thank you very much. Everybody got it? I apologize for the microscopic print. It is. Y equals 12 over x is what we're talking about here. I remember back when we did this, I drew a little chart for you. I will give you a reminder of the quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4, in case you forgot. When we have a positive k value, like we do in this example, you will get 2 branches, one here and one here. But if you had a negative k value, you would get 1 branch here and another branch here. So it just depends on whether you have a positive k or a negative k. But all of these have 2 branches, which means if any multiple choice answer only has 1 branch, it's a ridiculous choice. Which remaining choice is the correct one for a positive k value? Is it A or C? A or C? Yes is not an answer. A. they say land or sea? Okay. Yeah, a Navy dude saying that? Are you serious? Okay. A line that a graph gets closer and closer to, but never touches. Oops, sorry. You can't see that when I'm writing. Asymptote, a line that a graph gets closer to, but never touches. We need to, that's right, never touch the asymptote. What were the two asymptotes that we dealt with? The original, the OGs of asymptotes. You got some multiple choice options in front of you right there. Nope, 1 over x is not true. Oh, sorry. On the graph? Oh, okay. All right, we could try that. Y equals 0, excellent choice. Also known as the x-axis. Okay. And x equals 0, the y-axis. My first period class realized that it was asymptotes AF. Now, I lost it at that point, folks. I thought that was hilarious. Asymptotes AF. Okay. Now, if an asymptote is a line that the graph gets closer and closer to but never touches, then what's the, up here, it says, the x-intercepts. Well, isn't this one the x-axis? And if we're saying that you can't touch it, then that means there's no x-intercept. What about the y-intercept? Also none. I mean, that's the definition of these horizontal and vertical asymptotes for some of these simple functions. Now they ask me about domain and range. Domain and range. Your multiple choice answers are listed right here. I said when we did this before, you could simply circle the one that you liked. Or we could write something down on the blank up above for domain. Domain we know goes with x. Range goes with y. Remember, if you smash it all on the x-axis, how much of the x-axis got covered? All of it except for one value. 0. Right. So we can have any number that we want except 0. Now, how do I write that? If I don't like the multiple choice answer, I could write x does not equal 0. That's the simplest way you could write that. And what do you think about the range? If we collapse the entire graph onto the y-axis, how much of the y-axis would be covered? How much? All of it except for 0. Right, that is another option that's listed right here. All of it except for 0, which means, and if you really wanted to write it that way, you could. You don't have to do both. You can just do one or the other. I don't care. Use the multiple choice options if you want. Question 6. Y equals 1 over x minus 5 plus 3. What does the minus 5, what does this 5 mean down here? It's either got to be to the left 5 or to the right 5. It's got to be one of those because it's affecting the x. Which one do you think it is?
Wasn't there some saying they said about, well, when it changes the X, it always goes against my common sense, right? So which way is it moving? Yeah, this morning I gave the options left and right, and the answer that came back was up.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really disappointed. I mean, I thought we were going in the right direction. The kid said, it's backwards of our common sense, and I was like, yes. And then,
That was real backwards in your phone.
then
That's adjacent.
Yeah. All right. So what's the +3 mean? Up 3. Thank you very much. So this graph is moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, and 1, 2, 3 up. So if it moves 5 to the right and 3 up, so do the asymptotes. We have a positive k value. So that's telling me that we're dealing with a branch here and a branch here. Just like we did on the last one. So it obviously cannot be C. And it cannot be A because the branches are in the wrong spots. So it's really between B and D. We got to figure out which one goes right 5 and up 3. And that means it goes right farther than it goes up. Which one does that? B. And I promise they won't be that small on my test. I just didn't want to take up multiple pages with the same problem. Or with only one question. So, what's the domain? Well, first of all, remember domain is X. So, you couldn't be that one and it couldn't be that one. So, A and B are definitely out. So, it's really down to C and D. Which one do you think it should be? Which one says everything except for the asymptote? That is letter choice C. Everything except the asymptote. Range. Range never talks about its x's with anyone. It's a true statement right there, folks. So, these two are fake answers. Wrong. Illegal. What do you got? Faux. Well, there's only 2 of them, so I don't know why we call them faux. Now, A or D? A or D? Which one is correct? D it is. The set of all real numbers except for y equals 3, which is the asymptote. Alright, question 7. If we can make it through. We've got left 4. We've got down 3. And we've got a negative k value. So, at least help me pick out the graph. It can't be A or C because they have the wrong branches. And we got to find one that went left 4 and down 3. Which one is it? Well, this one went left and up, so that's not it. This one went left and down. Okay, that's it right there. We'll finish this